aunque sé que realmente tengo que trabajar muy duro, pero cuando sea grande, cuando sea un adulto, seré alguien importante.
The You Can poem will be recited by Andres Moore, Isabel Casares, Leonela Santiago.
Quería decirle estas palabras de despedida.
I expect to hear great things from you. I expect each of you to go on to middle school, then to high school, and on to college.
Y se espera escuchar grandes cosas de todos ustedes. Espera que vayan a la secundaria, preparatoria y universidad.
I expect each of you not to forget the importance of remembering to follow the rules, values, so that you do nothing to harm your education.
Dice que quiere que recuerden lo importante que es seguir las reglas y los valores y no haga nada para dañar su educación.
I expect each of you to make your parents proud and your community proud.
Espera que todos ustedes hagan que sus padres se sientan orgullosos y su comunidad también se sienta orgulloso de ustedes.
And my final remarks are, I expect each of you to remember me and not to forget that you are important. And I expect to hear about you in my old age as I watch television and the newspapers being great people. En su vejez, que sepan que ustedes es importante y espera oír de ustedes cuando ella está viejita y esté viendo la televisión.
On behalf of the 5th grade graduates of 1997, class of 1997, we would like to present these flowers and this congratulations balloon to Ms. McGlynn for being the best principal this school has ever had.
Each of you here with me, believe me, I've tried. I've tried to think of the K through 8 schools so that I would not lose my youngsters. I felt if I could get them and keep them here until 8th grade, by the time they got to 9th grade, that there would be truly a reassurance that they would go on to college. Unfortunately, that has not worked thus far, but I will keep working on it. I will miss each of you again. Please come by and see me. And believe me, no matter where you are, I will be checking on you. And there's a guarantee that if you are having any difficulties, you can hear from me. Okay? All right.
A ustedes hasta el 8º grado, pero no ha podido porque ella piensa que si ustedes estuvieran aquí hasta el 8º grado sería más seguridad de que fueran a las escuelas superiores, pero ella va a estar viendo cómo siguen ustedes en su progreso y si algún problema tienen, ella va a estar viéndolos.
Thank you, parents, for coming out. And I'm going to ask if I did in the first graduation. You are very special parents. Raising children during this day and at this time is very difficult. So I would like for each of you that are parents to stand and let's congratulate you. I want your children to congratulate you for bringing them on this course.
¿Se sienten? ¿Felices? ¿Mucho? ¿Me prometen que van a seguir en la escuela?
Que se prometen que van a seguir en la escuela.
¿Con buenas calificaciones? Ok, es promesa.
What would it be?
It'll be negative BK.
Yes. When we change sides, all we had to do is change signs, right?
Right.
So if it's positive over here, it's going to be negative on this side. And now we want to export this particular term, because there's no C in it, put it on the other side. And since it's negative on this side, it's going to be
Positive MX.
right. So it's just going to be mx. Now, to review the whole point of that, we now have all the terms that have C on it, on the left side of the equation, and the only term that did not have a C on the right side of the equal sign, okay? Now what do we do, David?
We can factor the C.
Right, there's a common factor here, so we can take it out. We'll put the C there, then you tell me what to write.
It'll be A plus BX
Yeah.
minus KX.
Minus kx. And we see here that if we multiplied it back again, we'd end up with what we had here, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay? And all of this equals mx, doesn't it? Now what do we do?
We can divide A plus BX minus KX.
That's exactly right. We can divide both sides by a plus bx minus kx, right?
Right.
And we'll do it like that so everybody can see what's happening here. And what was the point of doing that?
To get C equals.
That's right. That cancels, and now that C is all by itself. So we have solved for C, haven't we?
Right.
All right, minus kx. So there we go. There's an expression that's solved for C. All right, now let's do another problem. Has a little bit more application to it. That's similar to moving things around. We'll see the point of all this manipulation. Okay? It's a problem that. Well, you want to read it?
Sure. Okay. The width of a rectangle is 1/3 that of the length.
All right, let's draw a picture to see what that would look like. Okay? In other words, if this is x, what would the width be?
1/3 x.
Yeah, just 1/3 of x, which means this side would be x and this side will also be 1/3 x, right? Okay, go ahead.
If the perimeter equals P, find the area in terms of P.
Okay, so we have to find the area in terms of P, right? All right, we know the perimeter is just all of these things added together, isn't it? So what's x plus x?
2x.
And 1/3 x plus another third x is?
2/3 x.
And so 2x plus 2/3 x is going to be?
2 2/3 x.
Yeah, so we know that P equals 2 2/3 x, right? And we could also write that as P equals 8/3 x. How's that? All right. Now, what would be the area of this thing in terms of x?
It'll be x times 1/3 x.
X times 1/3 x, which is the same thing as 1/3 x squared. All right. But here, the area is not in terms of P. The area is in terms of x, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. Over here, we have an x. So we can solve this expression. See, now here, we're using some of those skills that we just had. If we multiply this by the reciprocal on both sides, can you see that all of this cancels? And what we get is x equals 3/8 of P. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now we have an expression for x in terms of P, don't we? And over here we have an x, but we want the area to be in terms of a P. So what do we do now?
We can substitute.
That's right, we have to substitute. So we can say that A equals 1/3, and we're going to take that x out because we know this 3/8 P will work in there, right? And now we need to simplify this. You want to square the 3/8 for me?
It'll be 9/64.
Yeah, 9/64. 9/64 P squared, like that, right?
Right.
And 3 goes in there once, goes in there 3 times, so we have 3/64 P squared, don't we? So there we have the area in terms of the perimeter. I kind of like that problem. It works out nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so much with that, okay? You follow that? Any questions there at all, David?
No.
Okay, good. Now, I'd like to approach something that is quite phenomenal in the history of mathematics, because we had to come to some sort of agreement as a group of mathematicians, okay? So I'd like to present now the order of operations. Okay. All right, that was beautiful. We presented it with a fanfare there, all right? Now, you can imagine, if you will, let's engage in a little fantasy here for her, just a little bit, okay? Let's say that there was a group of mathematicians who were lobbying for addition first, which would mean that the answer to this problem would be, well, what's 3 plus 4, please? 7, and then 7 times 5 would be?
35.
Yeah. So they would take this problem this way. 3 plus 4, they would say 7, and then times 5, so the answer would be 7. Times 5, the answer would be 35, right? And then there's another group of mathematicians from another far-reaching part of the galaxy who would want to, first of all, multiply. So their problem would be 3 plus 4 times 5, which is 20, and then the answer would be 23. Well, you see the problem that we run into here. We can't have a problem that sometimes the answer will be 35, and other times the answer will be 23. You see the difficulty we run into? So, as mathematicians, as mathematics educators, as math students, we all had to come to some kind of an agreement. You with me here?
Yeah.
We all had to agree that we would do these operations in a certain order. Otherwise, a huge group with us would come up with 35, and another huge group would come up with 23. Or even worse than that, at some time of the day it would be 35, and another time of the day it would be 23. You can see the confusion that would happen, right? And how important that agreement is there in the order of operations. And I'm only talking about these two operations. It gets even more involved than that, but I think it's worthwhile just to discuss this. And so what was the agreement that these two great bodies of mathematicians came to? What did they agree that they would do, David?
They'll multiply first.
Exactly. We will multiply first. This is the sanctioned answer. This is the one that everybody agreed upon. And really, when you think about it, it's quite an amazing feat. How many things that we do disagree on as a planet, and that we are all willing to agree that, okay, we'll multiply first. It kind of gives us a sense of hope for things, doesn't it? Are you with me, David?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's look at a couple other problems here, just to experience a little bit the importance of this agreement in the order of operations, okay?
Okay.
We can just slap any problem up there just to see what would happen if we did not agree. You give me an example of a small problem similar to the one I have. Just make one up.
7 plus 5 times 3.
Okay, it's very similar. Now, the question is, do we add first, and then we get 12 times 3, and that would be 36? Or do we multiply first, and then it would be 7 plus 15, which would give us 22, right?
Right.
Well, we had to agree that we do this multiplication first. In other words, whatever was in the parentheses there, even without the parentheses, we had to multiply first, because this is our sanctioned answer, the answer that we all agree upon. You see the value and the importance of that agreement in math?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ellen, would you like to come on here a little bit? We're doing this for a particular reason today, because we're trying to segue this math segment into an English segment here.
I think this explains why I did all those math problems wrong for all those years. I think I just didn't realize
You never knew this,
there
huh?
was an order of operation.
Of course.
And it's so nice, because we have to agree.
Absolutely.
If we don't agree, there's no communicating. And in a sense, what Robert and I were talking about is that both in math and English, these are sentences. They actually talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
They
Absolutely.
speak to us. And in order for them to speak to us, we have to agree upon what the symbols mean.
In fact, in math, we call this an expression.
That's
It's
beautiful.
called an expression.
That's beautiful.
Just whereas for us, a sentence would be something like an equation where there's an equal sign involved.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just an expression because there's no equal sign.
For English, it would be sort of like a phrase,
exactly.
which has meaning, but doesn't have the complete meaning of the equation. Oh, that's so fascinating.
Just like we were talking about before the show, this is just a number.
Yeah.
Like a word is just a word.
Yes,
and
yes.
we need more of them together to say
That's
something
right.
more meaningful.
Because if one were to see just a series of numbers, it wouldn't be a problem. If I were to say to you, solve 5, 8, 15, 25,
nothing to solve.
There's nothing, you don't know, you would be left saying...
It's just a series of numbers, yeah.
As if I were to say cat, dog, ran or something, it would be...
Sounds like an SAT test.
But that's really, so maybe if I were to realize that we're speaking closer to the same language, maybe it would
Perhaps
be...
it would help.
It might really help.
Well, I'd like to take your English class. And
I would love to take your math class, yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think we've come to the end, or no?
How much time do we have here? Yes, we have.
Okay.
It's time for a little break in the action. That's all the time we have for mathematics today, but stay tuned so we can complete this segue into English. My name is Ron.
Feliz Navidad, yo te quiero mucho, familia.
Wow.
¿Y quién es? Pues de quién es y para quién es. Jude.
Para la familia de Alonso.
Aquí está otra.
A ver, Evelyn, deja verlo.
Evelyn.
Enséñamelo, tira. Enséñamelo así. Oh, nice.
Evelyn.
Enséñale a Tony. Ese, enséñaselo a Tony. Ábrelo así, enséñaselo así. Oh, mira cómo están. Tony. ¿Y este también? ¿Ah?
Ábrelo, Evelyn.
Espérate, Evelyn. Guardando el moño para ella,
Alonso, help her.
¿Esta de quién es? ¿De parte de quién?
Winnie the Pooh.
Tómale video.
Wow, that's
Mochila.
Mira qué bonita.
Evelyn, a ver qué agarraste.
¿Qué más trae?
Winnie the Pooh de amiga.
Y este.
Dale un besito, dale. Dile thank you.
Mira, este es para Rudy de Alonso.
Thanks. A ver.
Sácale el video, David.
Open it. Open it.
Wait up.
Winnie the Pooh.
Y lo más curioso estás que te mueres porque no me fijo en ti.
A ver, ¿puedes dejarlo hablar? Thank you, Rudy.
De nada.
¡Qué bonito!
Y este.
For my mom, that's for me. It's for my mom.
Es para ti de parte de David.
¿No me lo vais a quebrar? Dámelo.
Dale, en la torre, mano. Mira ahí arriba.
La enseña porque tiene
Camarada de la cinta, sí, no.
Buenas noches, solamente media hora para darnos el abrazo navideño. 11:30.
Pues vamos a empezar ya de una vez, hombre.
No, ¿cómo es? Tú miras el burro y se te antoja viaje.
Feliz Navidad a toda nuestra gente que nos está acompañando por ahí en sus casitas también. Están chambeando. ¡Qué rico! ¡Gracias!
¿Tu familia?
Oye, mi familia por ahí, la familia Ramírez, que están todos los ahí con mi primo Ramiro. A todos los primos por allá de Chino, los
Rudy.
primos por acá de Valle de San Fernando. Son 11 hermanos.
Get that one right there. Look.
Un saludo a familia, a la familia de Castillo también, a la Mónica. Un abrazote y un besote.
Bueno, pues
¿Este para ti? ¿Este quién es?
No, hija, ese no es tuyo. Ese
No es tuyo, Evelyn. No estés. Ven.
Somos tamaleros.
Vamos con nuestra raza. A ver, Chaplin por ahí. Aló.
¿Qué es, Evelyn? ¿Cuál dice?
Este es tuyo. Este es de Rudy.
¡Ay,
¿Verdad que es de
qué
Rudy?
bonito!
Ajá.
¿Es de Alonso?
Permiso, Daniel. Pasen una feliz Navidad especialmente para...
Hey, don't rip it, Alonso. There's staples on it. Don't rip it. Just rip the bag open. Rip the bag. Don't pull out the jacket. Rip the bag open. You're gonna rip the jacket.
Sácala así porque tiene grapa la bolsa.
Oh, man. Rip open the jacket.
Tiene grapa.
Amar, rompe la bolsa.
Ándale, pues, gracias. ¿De qué parte eres?
Tiene grapa, dile se pega.
Pues a toda la gente que nos está escuchando en Malaysia, un saludote cordial y feliz Navidad para todos ellos.
¿Aló? ¿Quién tenemos por aquí?
It better fit you because I lost the receipt.
Un saludo para mi esposo y mis hijos.
Put it on.
Especialmente para ustedes, que se han portado muy bien todos estos años.
Gracias.
Y que pasen una feliz Navidad y que
Merry Christmas,
Sí, tengo, Alonso.
A usted y a toda nuestra linda gente que nos escucha en esta bella ciudad de Cantón. Hola, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
What's happening?
¿Qué pasó?
Ven, Evelyn. ¿Te los pongo? Esos son tus aretes.
Ya anda.
Ven.
Gracias, papi.
De nada, Evelyn.
Apenas están emborrachando acá.
Órale.
Nadie echó la casa para no.
Yo mando saludos a todos los paisanos de
Te dio un
Oaxaca.
cheque de
Vámonos toda la racita de Oaxaca. ¿Y de dónde nos llama?
Los Ángeles.
Ándale toda la gente de Los Ángeles. Feliz Navidad y gracias.
¿Aló?
Evelyn, no se cansa de decir gracias.
Para todos mis paisanos de Jalisco.
Eso, que
Vámonos.
son fríos.
A ver, ¿usted es de Jalisco?
¿Qué?
A ver, échese un gritote como los de Jalisco.
Uno en la nariz.
Qué bonita, Evelyn.
You want a hug?
Y mire, aquí le voy a... Espérame, aquí le voy a...
Qué
¡Qué guapo!
Ándale, échale, Lupita, échale.
¿Para quién es usted?
Saca video y no. Luli.
Ah,
Ese, ¿qué lo vieron? Ese no saben de quién es.
Yo le dije
Ese es para David, Alonso y Luli.
gracias, papi.
A ver, no le quede mal a su gente de Jalisco.
¿Te gusta?
Eso es tuyo, pa. Parte de todo. Sí.
Ah, sí.
No lo quieres,
Le echaron piedras aquí. Es un ladrillo, ¿eh? A ver, ábrelo.
Todo.
Ábrelo.
Rudy,
Yeah?
Rudy.
Yeah.
¡Eso!
Wait up, wait up.
¡Ave María, música! ¡Es música! Mira, por aquí ábrele, mira.
Excuse.
¿Y es para el yo y Rudy?
¡Oh! Está bueno eso. Es el pulado, ¿eh?
David. Oh.
Es mejor.
La basura en la bolsa, por favor. Basura que va quitando.
Cuando vas a sacar todo esto,
Oh, gracias, Rudy. Gracias, Rudy. Gracias.
Ese es-
Gracias.
Alonso.
A ver, dámelo, ven a ver.
Evelyn, no te está viendo regalo. Y ahí está de 3 años.
Thank you. God bless you.
Mira, Evelyn, unos patines.
¿Como barato por el pelado?
No, es lo que costaba.
Acá cobran 30.
$20 por esa cosa, ¿ves? ¿Te pusieron una cosa negra?
¿Cuánto está la por 30?
$20 por eso y 40 por la instalación.
Gracias. Te lo voy a poner. A ver, ¿cuál es más sigue?
The Robinson Maple.
Check it out, baby. Which one?
A ver.
The Robinson Maple.
Aquí está otra.
Ese es de Rudy.
Patines.
Esta caja de Robinson Maple es de Rudy.
Esta caja
You're gonna like it, Rudy.
es
Wait up.
de parte de tu mami, de tu papi y de Evelyn para los 3 babies. Dásela que lo abran los 3 babies. No lo abras. Que lo abra el baby. Espérate.
Gracias, papi.
¡Otro! ¡Yeah! Nomás,
¿Ya lo vieron?
You're gonna scream.
Alonso, pásenme los papeles y pones aquí en la bolsa, por favor.
Ahorita.
Gonna scream, you're gonna scream.
Ah, Alisa
¿Ese de quién es?
para Rudy, de David.
No sé qué es una cobija.
No, hombre.
Que ya tiene frío Rudy.
Los calcetines. Con underwear.
Rudy, man, you.
Son unas pijamas porque es que traen
Con underwear, porque no tiene.
You can't even rip tape, man. What the hell?
Oh, damn!
You don't know what it is.
Wow, another one.
Thanks, David.
Ave María.
¿La casa por la ventana de ahora?
This.
Wow. ¿Qué es, Evelyn? ¿Ya? ¿Qué es? Ay, 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 ¿qué es eso? ¿Es para ti? ¿Qué es eso? ¿A la que chamaroma así? Oh. Son ladrillos eso.
No me acuerdo.
Pésalo, ya sabes.
No, espérate.
Gracias, papi.
¿Te cayó?
¿Qué es? Parece que es para una persona
Oh, gracias,
una muy querida que se llama de mami. Parte de mí.
Chiquito, ustedes, niñas, sí te dan los grandotes. Mira.
Ay, Martino. No salió el tuyo.
Let's go plug it in.
No se lo puedes aparte de ver qué es.
A ver, ¿tú crees? Va a salir una lacana y una lacana de blanco.
Let me see your fingerprint.
Try to think of a name.
Gracias, papi.
There.
Pero no me gusta mi abrazo.
David Alonso Williams.
El niñito Jesús. 14 para las 12.
Chris, you got on Christmas.
Yeah,
Chris.
put Chris.
How you put Chris?
Just put forward. Here, I'll do it. Got it. Just press forward. ¿Ya no hay más regalos?
Es de mami.
Deja eso ahí.
Mira ese ahí, apá.
Te digo, nomás lo que vamos a hablar. A ver.
You just want to put the name. Because look, the first enter is going to be the whole name. Oh, sorry. It's going to say. Sí.
Buenas para todos.
Es una persona muy distinguida, muy apreciable,
¿Que se lo coman los chuchos o qué?
que se lo merece con todo el respeto.
Mami.
¿Quién más está por ahí? Tony Vega.
Alessandra.
No habla.
Tu chica.
Evelyn, no habla. Feliz Navidad.
Mira, padre, mira,
Hija, no estés abriendo regalo.
Otras dos amanecieron solas.
Tú te anuncias este otro. Tú te anuncias este otro.
Pues ¿quién lo abrió?
Evelyn, manda uno de los
Pues
otros.
es para ellos.
Ah, si los pueden, no tan desabridas, ¿sí? Con los tres.
Trae la tijera. Gracias, la tijera.
Un abrazo a todos.
Rudy, we got another one. Rudy.
Ah. Let me see.
Cállate,
Alonso. Gracias, mami. Cool.
Vortex.
Es una venda.
Just like the one I have, but I'm not gonna lose this one. You know why? You know why I'm not gonna lose it?
Why?
Because it's from my parents.
Yeah.
So was the other one that they bought you?
No, we got it from Venezuela.